All right. We should be rolling. I think we're rolling. I shouldn't have done that because the mic is right next to my leg, so they probably just got all their ears blown out. Hi. Is everybody the usual kind of start to a live stream? Let us know if you can hear us, see us, if it's smooth. Hopefully it is. Let us know. We've also got a little bit of delay. So as most of you probably know, actually, no, you probably wouldn't know this, but we have pretty crappy computers and a really crappy internet connection. So this is all just right on the ragged edge of everything just barely actually being able to work. So let us know if it's all good. People are coming in on the chat from Finland, from Germany. That's awesome.
People are asking if it's cold in the house. I am always cold in the house and in every situation.
Yeah. And I don't know. Here's one thing you guys probably have noticed about the channel anyways. I don't usually do live streams. It's because live streams freak me out. Like, I usually go and I film and all this B-roll and throw it all together. It's all nice and neat. Live streams are a scary thing for me, so be gentle. But Beth is here. That's good. That's fun. We've got lots of stuff having to do with Beth today, so we'll get into it in a minute here. But yeah, so is everything still sounding good, looking good? We can get past that kind of part of it. Hi, Jack. Oh, lots of people coming in from Israel, from Alaska, from Winnipeg.
We also have Petey coming in for a landing.
Oh yeah, Petey. So I think Petey has been a part of every single live stream, so we had to. I mean, he's just going to show up anyways, so there's no choice on that one.
That's what the live streams are really for, though. It's for Petey. Petey time.
All right, well, have a good sleep, Asif. Hi. All right. Yeah, how's everybody's weekend going? Is anybody riding this weekend? I wasn't riding this weekend. We were really busy yesterday, and today is like one of the first nice days. We live in Edmonton, Alberta, in Canada, and this has been hands down the worst fall/autumn ever.
Yeah, we haven't really done any biking. It's just been we've had snow 3 times, which isn't typical. We usually don't get snow until about the end of October, but this year we had snow in the first week of September.
Yeah,
so
it snowed 3 times in September.
Then it melts, and then we still can't get out and ride because it's been too wet most of the time. But we've got in a handful of rides, but it's definitely been a hard fall for everyone.
It's been a hard go. Oh, a steady spin. Super chat for $1.99. Thanks. Cheers. That's awesome. Actually, we may as well actually do a real cheers.
Oh, hey.
We'll do a real cheers for a super chat.
Cheers.
Cheers. This is one of the best winter ales I think out there, and it's Granville Island Brewing Co., which is just kind of right in center Vancouver. It's actually got like actual spices in it, like wintry kind of spices. It's really good.
Yeah, hi Petey. Yeah, it's actually one of the only beers that I like, so that works out good.
That's saying something. All right. Yeah, it is and it's your boy Moisty says it's raining so much today, and it's been so bad here too. And like where we live, it's really clay-based soil, so as soon as it rains, you can't ride. One, because you literally can't stay upright. Like the clay is so slippery. There's no stopping. Even just like rolling along, you could just be like, bam, on your side like that. So one, super dangerous. Two,
yeah, it's really bad.
Because it's clay, as soon as it dries, like if you go through and you leave a rut and it dries, it's like concrete all of a sudden. And so the next time it rains, all that water goes down that same trough and just eats away at it and ruins all the trails. So yeah, no riding for us lately. But Kieran says he can't ride because of a broken femur. A femur?
Oh, Kieran. That's awful.
That's awful. That would really hurt.
I don't know if there's anything else we can say about that, but get better soon.
Yeah, Sebastian says, who's the bird? That's Petey. Petey the trail bird, the parakeet. We've had him for like 2 years.
Yeah, we don't take him on trails. He would just leave us.
He would fly away immediately. But he's lots of fun. We like him.
Yeah, he loves to chase us around the house, and
Oscar says, can you please start unboxing now?
Well, we're actually going to beatbox first.
Yeah, we were talking about beatboxing, not unboxing. You guys were like totally confused.
You guys missed that one.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyways, yeah, we should get started. We should get rolling. So where's the new bike, guys? Says Phil. It's coming. It's coming. It is a bike. It's in a box over there. We're going to show you real quick.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert. Leading up to that, to this bike, there's sort of I feel like an explanation is needed because there's a lot of things that went into this box, basically.
And people have been asking for a long time because every time I make an appearance in a video, it's, well, Beth is trying out this bike today, which has been amazing. I've had opportunities to try out tons of different bikes, so that's been really cool. Yeah. But now I finally have my own bike, so there's another spoiler alert. It's Beth's bike. Oh, dang
it, Beth. All right, so here's the thing. So if you guys remember from a video that I think I put it out in June. Seriously, Bird. I did a video saying we are starting the process of going full-time Loam Ranger channel, which has been such a cool thing. And especially like from the support from the Patreon subscribers, like they're one of the biggest things like that are making it happen for us. And so, but it's a little different for us compared to like someone that has, say, like a more of a typical job. Like we're both photographers, we've been doing it for 10 years, kind of a thing, and that's our sole source of income up until this year. And so for us to say we're switching over to Loam Ranger full time, it's a process because wow, he is really like go. What was I going to say? Yeah, it's a process because, like, for example, like we've been shooting weddings, like photographing weddings for years, like years and years. And we had weddings that we booked a year and a half ago that we still needed to shoot. So it wasn't sort of like a send in our resignation letter, cut it off.
Here's our 2 weeks notice.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that wouldn't work for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. So we just photographed our last wedding last night.
Yesterday was our last wedding, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
We absolutely love shooting weddings, and it was great. And kind of sad to be like, oh, that was our last wedding, but we got to finish with a really cool couple, so that was good. So
yeah, and it was an awesome wedding. It was an East Indian wedding. The best chana masala I've ever had in my life, quite literally, was from yesterday's wedding. Oh, yeah. It was delicious.
Actually had to go get more chana masala and chai today just because we had such good stuff last night.
Yeah,
it's like we need more of that.
Yeah. So last wedding. Now, a couple of years ago, it went from like both of us / maybe probably more myself running that side of the business. Like Ryan and Beth Photographers, that was our business name. We shot weddings under that name. But Beth took over that a couple of years ago. And so it was last wedding yesterday. And other than like working on the photos and getting those out to the couple, like once that's all said and done, like you're freed up now.
Yep, for the most part.
Yeah. So, yeah, for the most part. So that means that one really big thing, and that's that Beth is going to be a much bigger part of the channel from here on out.
Yep, I can finally go on some bike rides. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to be a part of the channel, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah. Excited
to be able to bring a bit of a different perspective and, obviously, female perspective. And yeah, hopefully I can just inspire more people to get their significant others out there and joining in mountain biking. And
I think that's a big thing. So this is what I've gathered. Maybe I'm wrong. You can tell me in the comments. But I'm willing to bet that and from what I've seen, the vast majority of people watching right now and the vast majority of our audience, their significant other doesn't mountain bike. This is what I've gathered. And that's how it started with us too. I've been a mountain biker forever. You started mountain biking like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Basically
when we were dating, then I started mountain biking. And I had already I did a lot of sports already. Yeah. I skateboarded and snowboarded and all that stuff. So mountain biking wasn't a far reach for me. And I had ridden a bike before. So I wasn't a total noob, but I was a newbie. It's okay. Yeah.
So like literally, like she was the best. Like it was literally, she went from like never having mountain bike before to like 6 months later riding Whistler Bike Park.
Yeah, but I did crash a lot, so...
Lots of crashing and tears were involved.
So many tears.
And that was our honeymoon.
Yeah, that wasn't even the biking, the tears, but...
So funny. She's so funny.
Then I also will be bringing the humor to the Loam Ranger now.
Much needed humor.
Finally.
So it's just really big news for us. So we're going to be, like she's even going to be like answering back to comments. And that's one big thing that maybe not big, but one thing that I wanted to bring up from now on, like when I comment, it's actually going to have a little R at the end of it, so you know it was me. And if it has a B at the end, you know it was Beth. So, because it'd be kind of weird if we were both like writing as if it was me. So
Yeah.
we're just gonna like let you guys know who is actually commenting back to you, because we love commenting back, replying to comments and stuff, and engaging with you guys. It's awesome. We should probably look at these comments.
Yeah, someone asks, how skilled is she at riding bikes? Well, I'm a total beginner, so that should be good for everyone.
No, she's not a total
No, I'm
beginner.
just kidding.
Not a total beginner. We'll talk more
No.
about that. Yeah, we should maybe get to the bike.
Yeah,
How's that?
I guess.
Let's do it.
Are you ready?
All right, let's do it.
All right.
Up we go. Okay, we're gonna clear
All
the
right.
scene.
Scene change.
Scene change. We'll let Beth bring it out. Sorry if the audio kind of goes to crap here now that we're like super far away from the mic. And I'm just gonna. Cool. Yeah, looks good.
There we go.
All right. Okay. Look at this. There's a bicycle.
Here's the bike.
Yeah. So
Maybe.
any last guesses as to what it might be? We've got a couple of guesses for Norco. We had I'm just gonna check the comments on my phone here. It's probably easier. Let's see. Boop a boop. Now we're both just looking at our phone.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I saw a couple Norco guesses.
Yeah.
And someone says that's a small box. Jeez.
That's true.
Like,
yeah, it is pretty tiny, and there's an interesting
I
reason
am a
for that
small
too.
person, so
But maybe not that small.
it's just gonna be a miniature bike for
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
All right. Well,
Alright, well,
let's just get into it.
let's do
I
it.
can help you pull that off later. Ooh, so fancy.
So,
But
I guess I can like.
no, you gotta just take it out.
All right.
Yeah, it's definitely
Take it
cake
over.
for sure. Oh, there's a fork.
I was hoping someone was gonna jump out of the box.
No, not this time.
That was bad.
Nice.
All right. Now that we have a fork, more guesses?
Yeah, nobody's gonna tell anything.
Well, I already managed to get grease on my hands.
Yeah,
so
there's
that's
grease all
good.
over that stuff. You'll be all right though. Yeah, unicycle. Yeah, that's totally what it is. Brian Vaughn says, can't be a pole, the box is too small.
Am I supposed to take all the wrapping off of everything?
You may as well, yeah. Just watch out for the lever. Lost Loam Howler says, Ryan put a ring on her finger. I did that years ago, man. That's all said and done. That's why I don't have to be like polite or nice to her anymore, because she's already tied down. So.
We are married. I just already lost my wedding ring.
Yeah.
So.
Actually, 2 wedding rings. Let's be honest here. One was the actual one. And then the second one, she's like, well, what if I just get one of those, like, those, what is it?
I bought one of those Enzo rings, the
Enzo
rubber
rings?
ones, like a sports ring, basically.
It's like a $30 plastic rubber, like it's like a $30 rubber band to put on your finger that she really wanted. And so we got that, and then she lost that one too. So anyways, look, there's a fork.
Yeah. So we
And a
got a
break.
RockShox Lyric RCT3.
Yeah. That's a nice fork. That
Fancy.
is a very, very nice fork.
Okay.
All right.
Just gonna put this down here.
Do you, here, let's pull this
I
out.
feel like I can do this. Like, all right.
All right, you're on the wrong
I'm
side of
gonna
the
go
bike.
into the other
You're
side.
just staring at your butt.
It's the moment we've all been waiting for.
Oh, look at that. Brian Vaughn, how wrong you were.
Ow.
It in fact is. I know Brian Vaughn. He's been on plenty of streams and stuff. It is in fact. This may look familiar because it is a pole Evo link. We're gonna go the other way.
This
Let's do
way?
it that way.
I don't feel like I can do this.
And then we're gonna put it on like this. That way we can all see. Ah!
Oh dear.
Just like that. Sweet.
There we go.
Ta-da! There you go. So, as you can kind of tell, the reason why I could fit in such a small box is because these things are foldable. And so
It's still on there.
it's kind of interesting. Like literally all you have to do is take the wheels off and you undo one bolt, which is this one here. Or no, yeah, this one here. And it folds up like this and you could put it in the back of like any sedan, basically. It's pretty weird. Mine isn't set up so it's foldable because I ran my cables over the chainstay, whereas this is sort of like all integrated and stuff. So I can't fold mine, but this one's set up to be folded. Yep, confirmed. Fold up travel bike. Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, there's no cake. Maybe next time.
No cake. I'm gonna go over the. Why don't you start like pulling
Someone
off some of
says
the...
Biking with Panda says long reach bike for beginner is a bad idea in my opinion. But I was actually joking about being a beginner before.
Yeah. She can hold her own, and I don't think a long reach bike is bad for a beginner. I think it's like the best for a beginner. But I mean, like that's. I mean, I've been riding my Evo Link. So actually, we should just cut to this. So this is a size small Evo Link 140. Mine is a size large Evo Link 140.
Yes.
So Beth could tell you more about that. But so this actual reach number and this size bike is actually more, standard kind of sizing in some ways, and then in some ways not. But
yeah.
Let's see what we got here.
So, well, you were just talking about sizing. I was just trying to think. The Giant Trance that I've been riding, which is a medium, has the reach is about 425 mils, and then the reach on this is 450. So
yeah,
I am going up a little bit in reach, but not like a crazy amount. And
yeah.
And I mean, because of the geometry, right? The reach is supposed to be the longer reach is supposed to work. So
yeah.
I got to try that out.
Yeah.
I haven't tried a pole before other than riding Ryan's bike a little bit, but obviously it doesn't fit me. I'm about 5'4", and he's just over 6 feet, so it's a little bit of difference in height. But yeah.
Oh, Phil. Thank you, Phil. Let me get that.
What's that? Oh, the pictures aren't straight? Yeah. So around our house there's been a ton of construction happening because they're putting in some public transit, which has been really fun, but it means our entire house just keeps shaking all the time.
Yeah.
So
it's like
Ryan's
constant earthquakes.
Constantly having an aneurysm over these canvases on the wall.
Yeah. All right. So, and actually, this room. So I've had messages from people saying "Wow, your house looks really fancy." Our house, I wouldn't say is fancy. This room, I would say, could qualify as fancy, and this is kind of one of the reasons why we wanted to do the live stream in here. One, it's one of the only rooms that is actually big enough to do this. All the other rooms in our house are really tiny. But two, hi, okay. This was our meeting room. So the reason why we started renting this place years ago was to have client meetings. So a couple would come over and they'd look at the photos that we've taken, and these are all those pictures aren't of us. Those are of other wedding couples who we photographed. And so this place is set up all nice for meetings. And now this space is probably going to transform a little bit and be more Loam Ranger-esque.
It'll be our bike workshop.
Yeah,
no,
Petey is pumped.
Probably won't be a bike workshop.
Look at him go.
It's right in the middle of our house, but we'll see. Hi.
Yeah, all right. So, so this frame is 450 millimeter reach, whereas mine is 510 millimeter reach. Now, here's the interesting thing that we found. One, we actually just bought Beth a bike. We've been saving all year and trying to find one. We ended up getting a 2015 Giant Trance, kind of a for now sort of a bike for her to ride. And the reach on that one is a medium, and so the reach is 425. And it has a 60 millimeter stem on it. So 425 reach plus 60 millimeter stem, 485 millimeters. Now this bike is 450 millimeter reach, and we're going to put a 35 millimeter stem on it. And how long is that? 485 millimeters. So
can I just cut this right here?
It's actually not that crazy.
Is that gonna make everything unfold?
Yeah, this will unfold, so just hang on to that when you cut it. No, you gotta hang on to this when you cut it.
Well, my hand's in the middle.
All right, I got it.
All right, you hang on.
Yep.
Whoa.
Oh gosh.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's
Never
cool.
seen a bike fold like that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then it just goes into there. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I know how it is for me to ride. The kind of pole, geometry. So, oh gosh, geometry sort of thing, and but I don't know how it is for. You want to just go the other side of the bike?
Sorry.
No, it's fine. For me, but then for somebody who's 5'4", how is it going to be for you for this kind of thing? And especially there's different things. My bike has 510 mils of reach, and then 455 millimeter chainstays. It says 450 millimeters reach, but still 455 millimeter chainstays. So I'm really curious to see how that works for her. And the other thing was, the reason why the box is so small is because the wheels get shipped separately, and those should actually be here on Monday. So we have everything but the wheels and the crankset. But we're going to put everything together, and then I'm just going to throw my wheels onto this bike because they fit fine. And then at least she can like sit on it, do the bounce
I can
test.
just pretend that I can go biking.
Yeah, you can pretend.
Yeah.
People keep talking about the pole machine. Yeah, that pole machine is sweet. My review video of it, I wrote it for a number of days in Whistler during Crankworks, and I'm hoping to put the review video out this coming week, so keep an eye out for that. I don't have a pole machine. It would be nice because that's a really sweet bike. Imagine riding that bike on a trail and it just snaps on you. Yeah, I don't see why this would be any snappier than any other bike. I mean, considering how many times I've absolutely ridiculously cased my bike, I don't think the frame's snapping anytime soon. Alpine Sender says that frame looks wild. Yeah. And you know what I noticed? Like, well, maybe I'll bring my bike in. This is the paint job, it's called Polar Blue. And my bike is Polar Blue. But this is the updated bike and the updated frame color. And I really like this blue more than my blue, actually. But yeah, so I noticed, just as we were taking it out, that there are some interesting changes that they've made, like subtle little improvements from mine. Because mine's technically EvoLink 1.2. Because they don't have like model years for these bikes, they just sort of do incremental or they just do updates. So this is mine's a 1.2, this is a 1.3. So there's different paint job, little things like recessed holes to get to the shock bolts, which is like super nice because mine doesn't have that. Cable routing looks better sorted for sure. Yeah, it's like really nice improvements on this. And of course mine, if you watched any of my bike build videos, mine was all custom built. So I just got the frame and then did everything else myself. Petey is stoked. That bird is having a good old time.
He's like, yeah, new bike day.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying.
All right, so let's get that frame
I
bolted
just
up.
about have all the wrapping off. So loud.
So what do you guys think? How do you think a bike like this is going to ride for somebody that typically rides something that's like 400 millimeter reach? Because that's a big change. Yeah. See about getting this one off here.
I mean, I'm not worried about it because you've ridden a bike with
Watch
way
out.
different reach than you had before, and you've just loved it.
Yeah.
And you talked about how much more stable it is.
Yeah.
Like, so many times where you feel like you should have been bucked off, and you just like have managed to hang on.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if anything, I hope and believe that it's going to be more confidence inspiring. And believe.
I believe. Yeah. I mean, you should tell them about your experience with like crashing and stuff a couple years ago and trying to get back into the swing of things.
Yeah. Well, a few years ago, I just had like a really bad crash. We were riding in Sun Peaks, and
Which is like Kamloops, BC, basically.
yeah, it's pretty like, well, it was pretty dry and dusty, and I was just coming down like a steeper.
It was steep. It was super dusty. It was like plus
Trying to
32
think.
on opening day. Woo! Nice catch. And yeah, it was. Well, I remember it very distinctly because I watched you almost die.
Yeah.
It was like very steep and into a almost corkscrew left-hander.
And I was like, I feel like I don't even remember it.
And
but
you,
I
great.
I went over my bars and just like ragdoll tumbled
Yep.
down and smacked my head around a couple times. And I was totally shaken up after that. And so I feel like I've never really gotten back up to the level that I was riding at as far as like speed and confidence go.
Yeah.
So
and
yeah.
like you typically like you always say you like love steep tech. Like that was
Yeah.
like your favorite at the time. And then you had that bad crash and then it wasn't so much your favorite anymore.
not so much.
So I'm like me personally, just thinking about you riding this, I'm hoping that it like gives you the confidence to like hit that stuff again.
Yeah. That's what we're all hoping for.
Yeah, everybody. That's what we're all hoping for. But we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right. Yeah, you want to check the comments there? It's that yellow thing. That looks like a super chat to me.
The yellow thing. Oh, we did get a super chat from Bikey4. Thank you. He
Hey.
says, I don't know your I don't know your fellow Canadian, Ryan, but he would say my better 3/4. Beth is very cool, and I'm glad you guys have twins now.
Twinsies, matching bikes. Thanks, man.
All right. For.
Cheers
Thank
for
you.
that. Cheers to you. Ding. We're such dorks.
Well, what country does the pole come out of? It's from Finland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Finland. They're you should look them up. They're pretty interesting bikes. They have quite an interesting philosophy as far as geometry goes. And now that I've been riding one for almost a year straight, I kind of believe in. I'm kind of a fanboy of the whole geometry philosophy, and like what their whole thing is putting people more in the center of the bike, so that your movements back and forth don't have to be so finite, so that you can like just smash through stuff and like rail corners really fast, and just be really confident and more worry about what's ahead and the rest of what's going on, rather than worrying about where you are on your bike and getting compressed weird into stuff. And it's been pretty cool. Having said that, and I'm going to go over this more when I do a full review of my bike, which is coming up soon too, I had a lot of troubles within the first couple of months with like knowing how to corner with this style of geometry. And once I figured it out, it was awesome. And I've never been faster through corners, but I was not happy with with my cornering abilities once I got on mine. One, because I was going way faster into corners, like legitimately much faster. And so you feel like you're on a ride all of a sudden and you're flying into a corner. And I found that it was all about where you put your hips. If you put your hips in the same position that you normally would relative to a normal bike, relative to your bottom bracket, you wouldn't have enough weight on the front. Whereas these bikes, they really reward like aggressive, like chin over the stem, arms bent kind of position, which is where you should be anyways. But once I really figured out that you got to like press into those corners with your front wheel, it's been awesome ever since. So that's something that you have to learn now too.
Yeah, hopefully this will help me get better.
Yeah. Okay. I want to go over some of these comments. Let's see. Is there anything that you needed to go over as far as anything? What are the opening and closing dates for Whistler? I think they're closed now. Yeah, Whistler's officially done for the season. And I went to Whistler the last two Octobers, but not this time, unfortunately. Yeah, this is the Evo Link frame, yeah. Oh,
I do not think the bike could fit in a backpack.
No, I don't think so. Nope. So let's just put the fork on. Let's do that. Does anybody else have any questions for now? Kieran asked DH versus Enduro. I don't know. I like Enduro, I think.
Are you asking like what we like riding the best?
Yeah.
I don't know. I love DH because I just hate climbing, but I have gotten a lot better at climbing this last year, so it has made me enjoy Enduro way more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Anytime I can take a lift up, I'm gonna take the lift up.
All right. Well, I'm gonna throw this fork on here. Yeah. If you want to keep looking through the comments and see if there's anybody else that has some questions. Yeah, let us know if you guys have any questions.
What components are you putting on the beast?
What components? Well, pretty much everything is there. Let's see. I don't really have like a workbench here. Once again, this is just like a living room. Here we go.
Your pole is too long. That's what she said. I was waiting for that one.
All right. How many times have we heard that one? There we go. Uh-oh. Which way did that go? Oh, it must be this one.
Thanks, the Palm Pilot 3 for another super chat.
Oh, awesome. Can you hold this?
No. But I have nowhere to put my beer.
Yeah, thank you so much for the super chats. It's like truly for every time we get a super chat, or like for Patreon subscribers and all that kind of a thing, it's really like that's like how we like pay our gas bill and stuff, you know, like that's it's kind of how we live, and that's going to keep building. You want to just hold on to that? I'm going to throw the stem on.
Yeah, I got it.
And I'm just going to start you.
I'm just going to put can you just put that there?
Alright.
I'll put this here.
I'm going to start like this. Right on the lowest. Whoop! Right on the lowest one.
Ooh.
I don't think I need all of these.
So.
Oh, maybe I do. Interesting.
Can I have your top cap?
Huh?
Can I have your top cap?
Yeah, I've got an awesome top cap from
the
the IFHT guys. They have an online store with products in there which you should go check out. And it's a top cap that says "Get off your brakes," and so I always like to be reminded to do that. But I took mine off because I have that bike computer on top now. Let's get that kind of
so
on there.
I'm already planning to steal it.
Yeah, as you should.
Might as well.
Cool. There we go. Sweet. Yeah. Look at that. Okay, so now that that's on, whoa, let's go over some components here. Yeah, thanks, Palm Pilot. That's awesome. There is a spider behind you. Is there?
Was it just me?
I don't see it. Hey, here's a question. How many people in the chat are women? I'm always curious. Because this is the other thing. So, like, on my channel, not to brag or anything, but we have one of the...
I just roll my eyes.
We have one of the highest percentages of female viewers out of any other mountain bike channel that I know of. So, not like the very top, but it really fluctuates. But we pretty much stay around 10%. And 10% versus 90% doesn't sound like much, but a lot of channels are more like 3%, some are like 0.5% sort of a thing. So it's awesome to see that there are female viewers watching the channel. And yeah, hopefully we'll get even more now that you're around, which is cool. So, hey!
Someone else is asking, is Beth going to be on a 29 or 27.5?
Yeah,
this
so
will be 29.
This will be 29. You can do 27.5 plus, but that's not really my jam.
Really, I actually tried a bike with plus tires this summer, and I was saying to Ryan, like, it just feels so bouncy. It doesn't feel as like quick and nimble, so I didn't love it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I know some people do.
So we got Charlene Louise. There's a female watching. You're not alone.
I'm not alone.
Let's see. All right, cool. So yeah, let's go over the components. Let's go front to back. So the wheels, which we don't have right now, those are going to be DT Swiss 19 somethings. I can't remember. It's like their Enduro wheel set. The front tire is going to be Maxxis DHF, of course, 2.5. And then the back is going to be, the specs say that it's going to be a Maxxis Minion SS, so the semi-slick. I've never tried it before, so I'm curious to see what you think of it.
Me neither.
Yeah. And then for the brakes, we have Guide RSCs. Those should work pretty well, and as long as they stay nicely bled. And then for the fork, like we showed before, this is a RockFox Lyric. I'll just say that. Lyric RCT3, so it's sort of like the highest end Lyric. It's way too nice. It's just way too nice. What?
I'm just still talking about the spider.
They're just messing with us. I think they're just messing with us. But maybe not. I hope you are. So yeah, sweet fork, and it's set up for 160 millimeters. And then the bars are carbon Descendant bars. I think they're like 108 or 800 mil width right now.
Probably cut those down a little for me.
Yeah, like 740 or 750 or something. Probably like 740. And then she got a bike yoke dropper, which I'm really pumped about.
And by that he means jealous of. I
am super jealous of the bike yoke dropper. I mean, I actually really like the dropper I have, but I've always heard really good things about these. There's a 425 millimeter dropper. And yeah, they're supposed to be super reliable, which is the only thing I ever ask for from a dropper. Like, I just want it to work, and that's it.
The dropper on my current bike is just super sticky, and I basically have just ended up riding a trail height and not like kind of midway. Yeah. I'm just not even using it because it just doesn't work when you need it to work. So I'm super excited about this.
And can anybody guess which dropper she has currently on her bike? If it's sticky and doesn't work well, and especially not in cold weather, can anybody guess what kind of dropper she has right now?
Probably not.
Compass TD. Hey, thanks for the super chat. That's awesome. Let's see. My wife has been getting into mountain bike, but as a complete newbie. Beth, any pointers on building her confidence and ability? Anything I can do for her? Winter ale is my wife's fave too. There you go.
Aw.
Sweet.
I feel like we're kindred spirits
Yeah.
already. I think one of the and I said this before when we did a live stream with some other YouTubers, that one of the biggest things for me with getting comfortable and confident was going and riding with people other than Ryan, and like just finding some other women to ride with that live around here. Partially because Ryan always overestimates my ability and just takes me on things that are way harder, because part of the thing is for him is that he's ridden for so long, and then he doesn't necessarily remember things as hard as they are, or just kind of assumes that people can do more than they can. It's kind of a shortcoming of his.
I just believe in you, that's all.
He just believes in me so much. So going out and riding with other beginners was really helpful for me, just to see that, oh wait, there are, like, other people are starting out, and I don't
or
have
just like
to
even
be...
you're more closer to where the place you are anyways. Like,
Yeah, and just not,
out.
and it's also just really nice to ride with other people and not feel like you're always trying to keep up, because that's really exhausting, and when you're always trying to keep up, then it's really hard to actually work on your skills. So that's something we've talked about too, is that it's really helpful to just like go to one area and just like ride like a short trail, and even ride it a few times in a row to just get more comfortable and confident on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Those are things that really helped me.
Sounds like good tips to me. But yeah, I mean, like, even look into your local shops for like women's group rides.
Yeah.
Is always a good thing to look out for. Oh, the clamp's already on there. Sweet. There we go. There's a brake lever somewhere in there.
Yeah, and like and shorter rides as well, because the whole like being tired never ends well for anyone.
That's the thing. Like when you're trying to focus so hard on like so many different, because that's the thing. Like when you first start mountain biking, there are 10 million things that you're trying to remember and trying not to screw up going down the trail. And like as soon as you get tired and exhausted, that stuff's just going to go out the window. Like if you...
Well, it does for,
anybody.
Anybody.
Yeah. But like almost like once you're really tired, as a more experienced mountain biker, or at least somebody who's been doing it for years, you almost just let your instincts take over when you're tired. But if you don't have the instincts to like react to stuff,
well,
then,
even just simple things that you don't think about, like changing gears at the right time, is something that somebody who's still learning how to mountain bike is like, oh crap, I gotta gear down because we're about to go up a hill, and then they're like having to get off and push their bike or whatever up the hill just because they weren't prepared for it, and so those things are really tiring. So so just like keeping it shorter and easier. Yeah.
And I would say that it's worth, I know it can be kind of pricey sometimes, but I would say that it's worth renting them a good quality bike. Yeah. To go and ride with, if you can. Like if you're just getting them into it and like you're not, like nobody's sure if they're gonna like do it further, there's no point in just like buying a bike, because a lot of times you won't want to spend a ton of money on it unless you just have $5,000 laying around. So what I did, which was my mistake, was buy crappy bikes and put her on crappy bikes.
Part of the reason, that bad crash that I had in Sun Peaks, part of the reason that I ended up with that really bad crash was that my brakes weren't working, because what had happened was, did they get grease all over them?
They were, like, the whole bike was just clapped out. It was like an old Norco Shore. Like, everything was bad on that bike. It was not a good scene.
It was terrible.
And I was like, look, it's $900. Just like, take this. It'll be cheaper than renting. And yeah, not a great idea.
And then I almost died.
And then you almost died. Okay, well, that wasn't very hard, putting that stuff on.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm so excited. It's so much shorter than yours. Like it's actually it just looks strange to me to see a blue pole that's like this short. Yeah. Sweet.
It's pretty interesting.
Oh, it'll actually fit me.
Kieran asks, why do you call yourself the Loam Ranger? I actually just wrote a big post to my, not a big post, but like I wrote sort of almost like a letter to my Patreon subscribers. And
what are you going to say to yourself?
To myself. And mailed it to nowhere. No, I wrote a letter just kind of explaining that sort of thing. So like, for the vast majority of my riding in my life, I've been riding by myself because, especially when I go out to the mountains, and I've been doing this for years. Like, I didn't just start doing this because of the Loam Ranger channel, but I would go and travel and drive and just sleep in the car and ride Kicking Horse or Whistler or whatever. And it would be by myself because I live in a prairie town and it's like a hockey town, and there just aren't. I didn't know anybody at the time.
There's not a lot of mountain bikers. There's a mountain biking community.
Yeah, but I wasn't in that community.
But if you're not in that community and if you don't know people that do it, like, there just really isn't a lot of people around who do it.
So a part of naming the Loam Ranger was like a thinly veiled Lone Ranger, because I just assumed that pretty much all my videos are going to be solo rides because I just didn't have anybody else to ride with. And so I can't remember the numbers, but within my first 25 videos I put out, only 3 I rode with another person, and 2 of those was with Beth, which don't count. So like really just one.
I'm a person too.
So other than the person who I'm married to, there was one video when I rode with other people. But then after that 25th video, it's been another 85 videos or whatever it's been, and there's been only like 2 videos where I was riding by myself since. So the channel's been amazing for like getting me out with other people, and like even within the city of Edmonton, it's been so cool. I started putting up videos, and people started seeing them around here, and I would get messages, "Hey, I'm from Edmonton. Let's go for a ride." So the channel's been so amazing for that, for me personally. But that's kind of where the Loam Ranger came from. And then just like the bird just comes in and does a lap, scares us, and then leaves. But then other than that, I actually thought I was super original with the Loam Ranger name. There's another group called like the Lone Wolf. There's a jacket by Raceface called the Loam Ranger, and I had no idea at the time. So yeah, it's not super original apparently, but at least I thought it was, which is what really counts. All right. Okay. Let's see. New to mountain biking and tried DH on a hardtail today. Went okay, but what's a decent price for a full suspension for a beginner? See, that's a really tricky thing, and it's hard for anybody to answer because, one, I don't know where you're from, and I don't know the terrain you ride, how much you ride, how much climbing you want to do, what's your budget, because cheap for somebody could mean $100 or it could mean $2,000 or $5,000. So there's all these variables, and what I always say, if you're a beginner and you want to know what kind of bike is for you, go to your local bike shops. Because even if you're not planning on buying anything from there, you go in, you can talk to the salespeople and be like upfront, like, "Hey, my budget's like super low, but I don't even know what my budget should be, really. So let's talk about what bikes are best for the area for someone like myself who's a beginner, and what am I looking at for price?" Because they'll know way better than I will, because I have no idea what you want or need.
But if you're gonna be doing like just like the odd downhill biking trip throughout the year, then it might even be worth it to just rent for those trips. Yeah. Because then you're getting like the park bikes can get a little beaten by the end of the year, but you're getting like a brand new bike and it's tuned, taken care of, and so I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing to just rent if you're gonna go like once or twice a year to just do downhill.
Yeah. Alex G, he rides an $800 bike in bike parks and hasn't died yet, and he's pretty happy about that. It's good. Good for you. That's awesome. Yeah. All right. So that's on there. I mean, there isn't really much else we have to do. I'm just going to grab the wheels from my bike, actually, just so we can toss them on here.
I can go grab them.
Sure. Yeah. I don't know. Let's see. Beth should be like 55 PSI. Do that. And then she can hop on. Alright. I don't know what tokens are in here, if any. But we'll just stick with this for now. Ugh, that is grindy. Yuck. I'm currently destroying this brand new fork with my piece of junk.
Why?
Air fork. Or air shock.
You just don't.
Oh yeah, there, you put some in there. I'm going to put like low end in there. Put like 57 PSI.
What does that mean? What would you mean low end?
Well, for the weight range.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. All right. Ba, 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 ba.
I'll check in on the comments.
Please do. Okay. Oh, shoot. I just realized that I got to pull that brake caliper off. Because I have a 200 mil rotor, and this is a 180 mil setup. So I'm going to do that. What's going on in the comments?
What are your views on the machine?
What am I? Yeah.
There will be a review video coming out.
Yeah.
Hopefully this week.
Yeah. Oh, there's not even space. Oh, sweet. It's like totally just bolted straight up. That's nice. Yeah. So the machine was.
I feel like. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No. Go. Go.
Can you tell we're Canadian? We're so polite. Yeah. No, the machine. Like I'll talk more about it, but it was a pretty incredible bike. And also just remember that like I've been riding a bike with basically exactly the same geometry as the machine so far, which is my size large Evo Link, but there were a few key differences and I had a lot of fun with it out at Whistler. It was pretty cool. Soon, I'm working on it currently. Go.
Someone suggests we should do a ride with Yuka and BCPOV.
Oh, we definitely need to ride
I really
with
like
Yuka.
this idea.
Yep. Yeah. And Yuka, if anybody doesn't know who BCPOV is, that's Eric. And if you don't know his channel, make sure you go and check it out. Because he is doing great things out there in BC. And his wife, Yuka, she actually just started her own YouTube channel. And it's about, like, oh yeah, it's Boost. It's Boost.
There you go.
Yeah, it's about van life, and it's about, when she goes on rides with Eric. It's just like her life. It's a proper vlog. And it's awesome. She's got like such an awesome sense of humor. It's a blast. Oop. I'm just going to do that for now. It's not really all that solid. Good enough. Good enough for the girls I go with, as I always say.
So funny.
Okay.
Stop.
Huh? That's
right.
right.
It's just hanging there, clanging around.
It don't matter. All right, now one thing I don't want you to do is squeeze the brakes when you get on the bike.
Yes.
Cannot squeeze the brakes. Oh, can you go into the big box and there should be a smaller box with the parts?
There is a smaller box.
Oh, I didn't even go over the rest of the parts of the bike. Yeah, so carbon descendant bars, descendant. It's actually got a 40 mil stem on it, so we'll try that, but we might drop it down to a 35 mil. Code RSC brakes front and rear. Ergon grips. It's got, thank you. It's got bike yoke dropper, I said that. It's got an Ergon saddle, SME3 Evo saddle. Color match, oh baby. It's got a RockShox, what is that thing called? Monarch Plus RC3.
What do you need?
Allen wrench. Thanks. And then hers has Eagle XX1. Fancy. Jeez. Even with
It's
It
necessary.
yeah, totally net. Look at that. Even with the baller gold chain. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And we should mention, now that we're bringing out gold chains and talking about XX1, gold chains, this bike, okay, let me back up. When I was in Whistler for Crankworks, I went out there as like a press camp for one. Pole brought me out, and they wanted me to test the machine, see what I thought, and just come and hang out, ride Crankworks with them. And it was awesome. So much fun. And I'm going to be putting out that machine review video. And Pole's really cool about it because they're like really chill and like they really are adamant that they just want me to say what's actually on my mind. And it was like this. They were like, hey, come and do a bike review on the machine. We'll bring you out to Whistler. And that was it. There's no like, hey, talk good about our stuff. Or hey, say these specific things. It's like just ride the bike, do a video, sweet. And as we were talking, and as they were experiencing Crankworks, and that was the first time for Leo and Lori, which are the two main guys at Pole, something really cool happened, and I was really happy about this. They saw so many women mountain bikers out there, and they came away going like, women in mountain biking is like, there's so many out there already, and it's just growing so quickly. And so that kind of piqued their interest in getting more women onto their bikes. And so I told them like how Beth was looking for a bike, and they said, well, we will send her a bike. And there isn't really any strings attached. One, they're like, hey, can you do an unboxing video? We would do that anyways, and that's what we're doing right now. And then beyond that, they're like, go ride the bike, have fun, tell us what you think. Because they don't have a lot of people her size on these bikes. Typically, their sort of like main market are like tall guys that are like, finally, a bike that fits. Or normal sized guys like me that are like, this geometry is incredible. And so now, I'm gonna get Beth on this, get her take on it. So this bike was supplied by Pole in its entirety, which is so awesome. Can't thank them enough for this. But the best part that I really like about this whole thing is that they really, really respect the channel and how this channel doesn't work unless I can be honest. Because if I'm like paid off to be like, this is so great, even when it isn't, it doesn't work. Like the channel doesn't work at all. Hence me being able to talk about how like I was really not happy with the cornering of that bike for the first little bit until I learned how to do it. Stuff like that, I'm really happy that I can say these things. And if I couldn't get over that whole thing, I wouldn't be riding it right now. So yeah, I really appreciate that they like encourage honesty. It's a good thing. So anyways,
Yeah.
supplied by Pole.
So someone asks, what's the difference between Santa Cruz and that bike?
I mean, it's hard to say like when you don't get specific about it, but I would say the biggest difference, I mean, one, the geometry is so much longer. Let me give you an example. This is a small size bike, size small. It's made for someone Beth's height, like 5'4", kind of a thing. And the wheelbase on this bike, size small, is longer than a size extra large 2019 Specialized Enduro. Extra large. That's made for like guys like 6'4". There's a big difference between the design philosophies there. And so I'm willing to bet that the size XL Santa Cruzes are probably also shorter than this bike. Now that doesn't mean the entire thing is super long. I mean, pretty much every component of it is a bit longer than most. But the biggest thing that I feel like the first thing I think of with this bike compares to others, and same with mine, is the seat tube angle, because the seat tube angle is so much more steep. Now, we're finally starting to see other bike manufacturers starting to do that, like steep seat tube angles. They're catching up with the times. Like, what is it, Yeti? They just came out with a steeper seat tube angle. There was another big manufacturer that just came out with bikes with, Evil bikes. Now they have one with a steep seat tube angle, whereas before, all these seat tube angles were like this. So when the seat comes up, your butt was like halfway through the back wheel, like way over here, and it stretches you way out when you go to climb. Which is not comfortable whatsoever. And like I can tell you, like right away, if these bikes with this reach had a standard angled seat tube, it wouldn't work. Like as soon as the seat would go up, you'd be like this. But because of the seat tube angle, it's actually like nice and toit. It's like it's like really, really XC bike feeling. So that's a big difference. It's a long bike, but it actually feels like a short bike when you're pedaling. But as soon as you put the seat down, it's like downhill sled. So it's pretty sweet. A little bit of everything. All right. Oh, I gotta tighten this. I still haven't tightened the back axle. Let's do that. I hope that was a good explanation. Hope that made some sense. There we go. Cool. Okay. I think we can pop this thing down on the ground.
Sweet.
Yeah. Excuse me.
People just really want to know about the machine.
Oh.
I'm reading comments.
Yeah.
Someone says all Pole bikes are 29er.
Yep.
And I guess we covered that before, that this bike you can actually put 27.5 plus tires on.
But
Are all all their other bikes 29ers?
Every single heads up, you're in the.
I know.
Every single dual suspension mountain bike that Pole makes is a 29er. They're just like, they're fully down with the 29er movement. And I think that they have the best 29er geometry that I've ever ridden anyways. Maybe there'll be better out there, but I've never seen one that was better. So yeah, hey, look at your bike.
Sorry, I was just reading comments.
I'll take your phone if you want.
Sure.
That looks pretty nice.
That looks decent.
That's sweet.
It looks awesome.
Have a seat.
I'm super excited about this.
Just don't press the brakes.
Try not to press the brakes. Don't touch your brakes.
Ta-da!
Hurrah! See, it's not like a crazy long reach.
It's not a crazy long reach. Like, this is a thing, and that's like, I remember looking at like a pink bike review, well before I ever had mine, and like as soon as a human being is on it, it looks
normal.
Fine. And the reason is because really when we're talking about numbers, it like going from my Rain, which is 460 mils, to my Evo Link, which is 510, it's like, whoa, that's so huge. But then in reality, we're talking like 50 millimeters, 5 centimeters difference. And so when you see a person on it, it's like, oh, it's a bike.
Yeah.
So yeah, that looks awesome. So the biggest things that I am curious about once we get, everything on, one, handlebar height. The head tube on these bikes are the same size no matter what size you get. I think it's 110 millimeter head tube size. And so the stack height is like the same across the range, whether it's small or extra large. And so I feel like having the bars as low as they can be will probably be good for someone her height rather than going up. But pretty much the higher you get, the better. The higher you can handle for handlebar height is better from what I've always heard. Yeah, so I'll be curious about that. But that's a bike right there.
It's a bike. Just need some cranks and pedals.
Yeah.
And maybe attach the brakes.
Yeah, we could do that. Whoa, lots of comments came in. My gosh. The seat is slammed all the way down, and actually, so the bike is like she's kind of on tippy toes right now.
Well,
maybe not.
I can't quite flat foot it, but
yeah,
pretty close.
But I did measure, and I should bring your other bike in so we can compare the length.
Yeah.
I did measure from the bottom bracket to top seat height on both bikes, and with the seats, the seat post all the way down, not all the way.
Yeah.
How do I put this? With the seat post all the way inserted into the seat tube.
Okay.
This bike actually had a little bit of wiggle room, so we could actually bring the seat post up a little bit to get it to the same.
It would be the same as my Giant Trans.
Exactly, as long as you have the same length cranks, which they should be. So, which is great. I'm gonna bring your other bike over. Hold on.
Sounds good.
Oh, someone says switch or flip the shock, or Matthew says flip the shock to stay lubed. We could do that, and we might do that. But the biggest reason why it's the way it is because if you see, it's pretty exposed. And so this kind of just prevents mud from getting onto the, like turning that around. Okay. Just prevents mud and rocks from hitting that. But what I actually did was I custom cut a little Mucky Nuts fender to go right there. And then I have it flipped the other way. So you can do both.
Huh.
American Robin says, I hope you enjoy the new bike.
Thanks. I'm pumped.
Oh. All right, other bike. Here it comes.
This is just a dropper. Well, that works. That works. The dropper post. Whoa.
It freaking works. That's so nice. I love that color.
Yeah, the color is really nice. Do you want me to go forward or
Well, just roll it back so it touches the seat, the chair.
The chair here?
Yeah. And then I'll put this one like here. Oh, we're doing this wrong. Here, why don't you like scooch out from there?
Yeah.
Live streams.
You'll cut that, right?
Yeah, totally.
Good.
Oh, you guys aren't even good. Oh, look at this. Okay, so they're both touching the seat over on this side, and you can see the length difference.
It would be better if the other one was in front, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. But it is probably, I don't know, a good 4 inches longer-ish. Big difference. This is 27.5 wheel size as well. So she's going up in size all across the board. And you can see, look at the handlebar height difference. That's a big difference right there. So really interesting to see how this is going to go and what she thinks once we get everything all put together. Yeah, the overall bike height is definitely higher. Probably like an inch higher in total. Cool. That's a nice looking bike.
Exciting.
I really love that blue.
Yeah.
I'll bring mine in too.
I'm pumped. You're gonna bring yours doesn't have wheels.
I know, it's just so people can see the paint difference.
All right. I was gonna check the comments, but you took my phone. So.
Oh, do I have both phones? Yeah,
I think so. He just
You're
likes
not
to have
allowed
all
to
his
use your phone?
technology around him at all times, and mine.
That's how I warm myself at night. Just
Good.
technology all around me.
That's a filthy bike.
Filthy pole. So look at the difference in blue. Oh, it looks really similar on camera, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it does.
It looks.
In person,
It looks more
is a
different.
lot lighter.
Yeah, you kind of see.
You kind of see the difference, but
Yeah.
it's funny.
Yeah, I like the new.
The dark,
I like the
a
newer.
little bit darker.
It's a little richer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's awesome.
what do you guys think?
So?
Actually, once I get back in the room.
Any final questions?
Yeah, let us know.
Someone asked what our plans are for the winter-fall season.
Yeah.
And I think we're just gonna sit, look at our bikes.
Yeah, that's what you do as an Edmontonian. You just sit and you stare at your bike for 6 months and then eventually get to ride it. No, we're going to go and ride. We have some plans coming up for end of November. Really, really freaking amazing plans. And the two of us are going to be a part of this. I can't share what the details are yet because they are not set in stone, but it should be freaking amazing. So we're going to go somewhere amazing and ride and film. And I can't wait to show you guys that stuff. Pretty much through the winter season, while we still live in Edmonton, we pretty much have to go out and film every couple of months, or every 6 weeks to 8 weeks, and go and film basically like 2 to 3 months worth of content. So that's what we're going to be doing. That's what I did last year, but now got her joining me, which will be awesome. Yeah. Those are our plans right there. I'm going to check my phone here for comments. What I would like to know is, what would you guys like to see specific to us making content together for the channel? I'd really love to hear you guys' thoughts. Thoughts on the new Cannondale Habit. I haven't really looked into it. Looks interesting, but that's about all I can say. Yeah, like I'm a bit of a gearhead. Like I like looking into stuff. But to be perfectly honest, like once I kind of found the right bike for me, I stopped paying attention because I just really like the Evo Link. And the thing is, and something that Beth will find out, is that once you get used to this type of geometry, you can't really even consider riding something else because it feels like you're like a circus bear on a little like mini bike all of a sudden. So yeah, once you're used to it, you just can't go back. It's really hard to do. That bear is still behind me.
Someone says Oilers.
Oilers.
Go Oilers.
Yes. Yep. Go Oilers.
Show to Bubs. Does that mean our kids?
I don't know.
Bubs.
Let's hope so. Anyways, so I guess that's it for now. Let us know in the comments. So post live stream comments if you guys want to see any specific comments or specific things on our channel. We've got just a ton of stuff going on. There's going to be videos with just me. There's going to be videos probably with just Beth. There's going to be a lot of videos with the two of us. We want to do more behind the scenes kind of stuff too, which would be kind of fun, I think. And fall and like early winter for me, it turns into about gear. One, because I'm kind of socked in for weather and I just end up focusing more on that stuff. And two, I've got the pole machine review coming out. We're going to have you getting on this thing and getting your thoughts and figuring out parts and stuff like that. I've got
a comparison between
Yeah.
us and the Giant Trance.
Yep. I'm going to do a full review of my bike as a whole and then every single part on my bike because it was a full custom build. So I'm going to go over the entire thing. So it's basically going to be like a good month and a half straight of just like bikes and gear. So get ready for that. And obviously riding in there too, but lots of gear talk. So should be fun anyways. All right.
Should be nerdy.
Should be nerd-tacular. Okay. Let's see. Oh, someone asked, when are you guys going to ride Vancouver Island? We're trying to put together a trip for it for next spring. Or I guess this spring, 2019. But we'll see.
Yeah.
We have to wait and see. I would love to go out there and
No
ride.
promises.
No promises, but that's kind of the plan right now. More Canadian content other than BC. See, that's a tricky thing because it's basically like...
Do you have suggestions of where we should go other than BC?
Yes, suggestions. So it's like, here's BC, awesome. Here's Alberta, and there's awesome stuff there because we have a little slice of the mountains. And then Saskatchewan is completely flat. And then Manitoba is completely flat. And then Ontario's pretty much completely flat. And then Quebec.
Yeah.
Quebec has Mont Saint Anne and interesting places like that around Quebec City. Hello. So I would love to get up to Quebec and go and ride that stuff. And the World Championships for downhill is in Mont Saint Anne next year. And I'd really like to get up to that. So, but the thing is, our country of Canada is so freaking enormous. It's super expensive to actually fly to the other side of it. Like really expensive. So we'll see. But yeah, I would love to make more Canadian content. All right. I think that's about it.
Yep.
Happy new bike day.
Yay!
All right, everybody.
right.
Hopefully I'll see you next week with that machine review video. If not this week, early next week after that, maybe. Anyways, yeah. Thanks again. You guys are awesome, and I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.